The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the quiet suburban streets as Alex drove home from work. It had been a long day, filled with meetings and deadlines, and he was looking forward to unwinding in the comfort of his home. In the passenger seat, Rocky, his spirited border collie, sat with his head out the window, ears flapping in the breeze. The two shared a bond that was unbreakable. Rocky was not just a pet but a loyal companion who had been by Alex's side through thick and thin. As they cruised down the familiar road, Alex turned up the radio, letting the music wash over him. He glanced at Rocky, who was now wagging his tail excitedly, clearly enjoying the ride. "You ready for a walk when we get home, buddy?" Alex asked, smiling at his furry friend. Rocky responded with an enthusiastic bark, his eyes sparkling with joy. But as they approached an intersection, everything changed in an instant. A car sped through a red light, colliding violently with Alex's vehicle. The impact was jarring, and time seemed to slow as Alex felt the world around him spin. The sound of crunching metal and shattering glass filled the air, and then darkness enveloped him. When Alex regained consciousness, he found himself slumped in the driver's seat, disoriented and in pain. The air was thick with the acrid smell of smoke and gasoline, and his heart raced as he realized he was trapped. Panic surged through him as he tried to move, but the steering wheel was pinned against his chest, and his legs were wedged beneath the dashboard. He could hear the distant wail of sirens, but they felt far away, almost like a dream. "Rocky!" he called out, his voice hoarse and weak. He turned his head to see his loyal companion in the back seat, looking just as bewildered. Rocky's eyes were wide with concern, and he whined softly, sensing Alex's distress. "I'm okay, buddy," Alex reassured him, though he wasn't sure if he believed it himself. "We need to get out of here." Rocky, ever the attentive dog, seemed to understand the urgency of the situation. He began to bark, his voice echoing in the confined space of the car. With each bark, he scratched at the window, trying to get the attention of anyone who might be passing by. Alex watched in awe as his brave dog sprang into action, determined to help. As the minutes ticked by, Alex felt a wave of hopelessness wash over him. He was trapped, and the pain in his chest was growing more intense. He could hear the faint sounds of people outside, but he couldn't see them. "Come on, Rocky," he urged, his voice trembling. "You can do this." Rocky continued to bark, his energy unwavering. He jumped up and down, scratching at the window with his paws, desperate to alert someone to their plight. Alex could see the determination in his eyes, and it filled him with a flicker of hope. If anyone could save them, it was Rocky. Suddenly, Alex heard a voice call out from outside the car. "Hey, is anyone in there?" A passerby had noticed Rocky's frantic behavior and rushed over to investigate. Alex's heart raced as he shouted, "Yes, I'm here. I need help." The stranger quickly assessed the situation, his eyes widening in shock as he took in the scene. "Stay calm. I'm calling for help," he shouted back, pulling out his phone. Alex felt a surge of relief wash over him. They were going to be rescued. As the sound of sirens grew louder, Rocky settled down, his barking subsiding as he sensed that help was on the way. He turned to Alex, his tail wagging slightly as if to say, "We're going to be okay." Alex reached back to scratch Rocky's head, grateful for his unwavering loyalty. "You did it, buddy. You saved us," he whispered, feeling a deep bond with his dog that had only grown stronger in that moment of crisis. Little did Alex know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would change both their lives forever. The sound of sirens grew louder, and soon the flashing lights of emergency vehicles illuminated the scene. Alex could hear the voices of paramedics as they rushed toward his car, their urgency palpable. He felt a mix of relief and anxiety. Help was finally here, but he was still trapped and in pain. "Stay still. We're going to get you out," one of the paramedics shouted as they approached. Alex could see their faces through the shattered window, their expressions focused and determined. He nodded, trying to remain calm despite the throbbing pain in his chest. Meanwhile, Rocky had settled down, but his eyes remained alert, watching the paramedics with a mix of curiosity and concern. The first responder knelt beside the car, assessing the situation. "We need to get the jaws of life," he said to his partner, who was already on the radio calling for backup. As they worked, Alex felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. He had always known that Rocky was special, but in this moment, He realized just how much his dog meant to him. "You did great, buddy," he whispered, reaching back to give Rocky a reassuring pat. "You saved my life." The paramedics arrived with the jaws of life, a powerful tool designed to cut through metal. Alex watched as they carefully positioned the device around the mangled door of his car. "This might be a little loud," one of them warned, and Alex braced himself as the machine roared to life, cutting through the metal with a deafening screech. Rocky, startled by the noise, barked again, but Alex quickly reassured him. "It's okay, Rocky. They're here to help." He could see the concern in his dog's eyes, and it made his heart swell with pride. Rocky was not just a pet, he was a protector, a true companion. After what felt like an eternity, the paramedics finally pried the door open. "We're going to get you out now," one of them said, gently assessing Alex's injuries. "Can you move your legs?" Alex nodded, though every movement sent a jolt of pain through his body. With the help of the paramedics, he was carefully lifted from the car and placed onto a stretcher. As they wheeled him toward the ambulance, he glanced back at Rocky, who was now sitting in the grass, watching intently. "I'll be okay, buddy," Alex called out, trying to sound reassuring. The paramedics loaded Alex into the ambulance, and as the doors closed, he felt a wave of relief wash over him. He was safe, thanks to Rocky's quick thinking. The ambulance sped away, the sirens blaring as they rushed him to the hospital. During the ride, Alex's mind raced. He thought about how close he had come to losing everything. He couldn't shake the image of Rocky barking and scratching at the window, desperately trying to alert someone to their plight. "I owe you my life," he whispered to himself, knowing that he would do anything to keep Rocky safe. When Alex arrived at the hospital, he was quickly whisked away for treatment. The doctors assessed his injuries, which included bruised ribs and a concussion, but thankfully, nothing life-threatening. As he lay in the hospital bed, he couldn't help but think about Rocky. He hoped his loyal companion was okay, and he felt a pang of guilt for not being able to protect him during the accident. After a few hours, a nurse entered the room with a warm smile. "You're lucky to be alive," she said, checking his vitals. "Your dog was quite the hero today." Alex smiled weakly, his heart swelling with pride. "He really is something special," he replied, thinking about how Rocky had saved him. "Is he okay? I need to see him." The nurse nodded. "He's being looked after. We have a vet on staff who is checking him out. He seems to be in good spirits, just a little shaken up." Relief washed over Alex, but he couldn't shake the feeling of longing to be with Rocky. He wanted to reassure him that everything would be all right. After a few more hours of monitoring, the doctor finally came in to discuss his condition. "You'll need to stay for a couple of days for observation, but you're going to be fine," he said, offering a reassuring smile. As the doctor left, Alex's thoughts drifted back to Rocky. He couldn't wait to bring him home and give him the love and care he deserved. He knew that their bond had deepened through this experience, and he was determined to make it official. Later that evening, after a long day filled with tests and treatments, a familiar face appeared at the door. It was the vet, accompanied by Rocky, who was wagging his tail and looking as if he had just been on a grand adventure. The moment Alex saw Rocky, his heart soared. "Rocky!" he exclaimed, his voice filled with emotion. The dog bounded toward him, tail wagging furiously, and jumped up onto the bed, careful not to jostle Alex too much. The vet chuckled, kneeling down to give Rocky a gentle pat. "He's been a little anxious, but overall, he's in great shape. Just a few scrapes and bruises from the accident, but nothing serious," she explained. "He's been a real trooper." Alex reached out to scratch Rocky behind the ears, feeling the warmth of his fur beneath his fingers. "I'm so glad you're okay, buddy," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Rocky leaned into his touch, nuzzling against Alex's hand as if to say, "I'm here for you." The vet smiled at the bond between them. "It's clear he's very attached to you. Dogs have an incredible ability to sense when their humans are in trouble. He was quite vocal about wanting to see you." Alex chuckled softly, his heart swelling with gratitude. "I don't know what I would have done without him. He saved my life." After a few more minutes of checking Rocky's health, the vet gave Alex some advice on how to care for him during the recovery process. "Make sure he gets plenty of rest, and keep an eye on his scrapes. He'll need some extra love and attention for a while," she said, smiling. "And don't forget to give him his favorite treats." As the vet left, Alex felt a sense of relief wash over him. He was grateful for the care he was receiving, but more than anything, he was thankful for Rocky's unwavering loyalty. The bond they shared had been tested in the most challenging way, and it had only grown stronger. That night, as Alex lay in his hospital bed, he couldn't help but think about the future. He had always considered Rocky a part of his family, but now he felt an even deeper connection. He wanted to make it official. He would adopt Rocky and ensure that they would always be together, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The next day, Alex was discharged from the hospital, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. He was eager to return home with Rocky by his side. As they walked out of the hospital, Alex felt the sun on his face, a reminder of the life he was grateful to have. Rocky trotted beside him, his tail wagging as if he could sense the joy radiating from Alex. Once they arrived home, Alex knelt down to Rocky's level, looking into his eyes. "You're officially mine now, buddy," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "I promise to take care of you and keep you safe. You're my best friend." Rocky responded with a happy bark, jumping up to lick Alex's face, and they both laughed, the sound echoing in the quiet of their home. Alex had already prepared a cozy spot for Rocky in the living room, complete with a soft bed and his favorite toys. He watched as Rocky explored the space, sniffing around and wagging his tail in delight. Over the next few weeks, Alex focused on healing from his injuries while also showering Rocky with love and attention. They went on gentle walks together, enjoying the fresh air and the bond that had deepened through their shared experience. Alex made sure to give Rocky plenty of treats and playtime, grateful for the joy he brought into his life. As they settled into their new routine, Alex found himself reflecting on the accident and how it had changed him. He realized that life was fragile and unpredictable, and he wanted to make the most of every moment. With Rocky by his side, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were a team, and together they could face anything that came their way. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the backyard, Alex looked at Rocky, who was happily chewing on a toy. "You know, buddy, I think we're going to have a lot of adventures together," he said, smiling. "You're not just my dog, you're my family." Rocky looked up, his eyes bright and full of love, and Alex knew that their journey was just beginning. They had both faced challenges, but together, they would create a life filled with joy, companionship, and endless adventures. From that day forward, Alex vowed to cherish every moment with Rocky, knowing that their bond was unbreakable and that they were meant to be together.